Welcome to the Aberdeen Progress Report, a monthly look at news, issues, and ideas concerning the Aberdeen area. Kaleidoscope Media, the Aberdeen Area Chamber of Commerce, and KSFY Television are joint producers of this broadcast. Your hosts are Steve Kaiser and Kim Lean.
On the Aberdeen Progress Report tonight, hunting numbers did fall this past season in Brown County as well as statewide. On our in-depth story this month, we examine the victims of domestic violence in Aberdeen and the help they receive.
On our People You Should Know segment tonight, meet our own JR, Aberdeen Fire Battalion Chief J.R. Hubner. On our Interview of the Month, we talk tourneys with Jean Brunell, the Athletic Director at Aberdeen Central High. On our Chamber section, we'll visit with Gail Oakes and Neil Whitgriff. First, a look at last month's major news stories.
6,800. That's how many small game pheasant hunting licenses weren't sold in South Dakota in 2013 compared to 2012. That drop means sales fell by $30,000 from a year ago. The state made up a little of that by selling more non-resident fishing and mountain lion licenses. Pheasant hunting is a big driver for visitors to the state each year. Our winter weather this year has been pretty cold. 9.5 degrees below normal in December, according to National Weather Service meteorologist Mike Fowle. He said December was particularly cold, the fourth coldest December ever in the area, with an average temperature of 6.5 degrees. That's over 9 degrees below normal. January has not been as bad. Believe it or not, January is very close to being normal so far. But he also noted there have been 6 blizzard warnings issued so far in January, and that is abnormal. Steve also spoke with Jim Scarlett, meteorologist in charge at the Aberdeen Weather Service.
Jim, tell us, it's been a cold winter, but I don't think we've set any records, have we? Tell me about that.
Well, we've been extremely cold. It started in December. We've had some very, very cold Arctic outbreaks early, and that translated in temperatures about 9 degrees below normal for the month of December. And that wasn't a record, but it was pretty close. Some other cities around the region did set records in December. We moved into January. We did see some warmer days. We had a 3 or 4 day period where we had temperatures in the 30s and lower 40s. But then we got slammed with these cold air outbreaks, and that made things seem pretty cold, and it was cold. But overall, in the average for January, we're only about 2 or 3 degrees below normal so far.
Well, you don't usually track the wind chills, but the wind chills were also very bad in January. Yeah,
we've been seeing a lot of these systems that come out of Canada. We call them Alberta Clippers, and they're storms that originate on the lee side of the Rockies in Alberta, and they move down very quickly through the northern plains. And what that translates into is a very strong low pressure system moving across North Dakota into Minnesota. And that creates a very tight pressure gradient. So the winds really pick up, and behind these clippers we see the cold Arctic air. And it's been unusually strong here for a couple of these systems, where they come down here and it's creating winds of 40, 50 miles an hour. And we've even had some gusts to 75, 76 miles per hour at one of the systems. You throw the cold air in there and you've got wind chills 40 to 50 below, and we've seen down to 50 below in a few spots. Let's talk about February. You got any good news for us? I wish I did. It certainly looks like this pattern is going to continue. We've seen a very strong northerly flow out of Canada for most of the time. It looks like maybe later in the period we could switch a little bit more westerly, which will help. But overall, the outlook for February is continued cold.
How about the rest of the spring?
The rest of the spring, really no clear signal either way, but we're kind of stuck in this pattern. So hopefully we don't see a repeat of last spring. Last April was very brutal for cold and snow. So hopefully we don't see that, but right now it's really hard to say, but February is looking like it's going to continue with this pattern.
Did you want to talk about the polar vortex?
No, that's all right. We can pass that.
Oh, we can talk about it.
How much you got for time?
Like 2 minutes.
2, and that's it?
Yeah.
All right, well, the problem here is how we're going to edit it. I suppose we could just do a screen pass. All right, we'll talk then a little bit about that. Sure, we only got 2 minutes, huh? Okay.
Yeah, we started at 41, we're at 39.
Okay. Just doesn't make sense to me, but okay.
Well, I have 39 minutes left on my counter.
I see, okay. And you're counting down counter. All right, makes more sense then.
I wasn't paying attention to time code there.
All right, what haven't we talked about?
I don't know, polar vortex, you said you wanted to ask him about.
Well, I guess
Well, we can talk about the polar vortex and where the cold air that we've been seeing, where it originates, if you guys...
Well, I think most of us have never heard of a polar vortex, that term. Did it affect us, and what does it usually do?
Well, the polar vortex is a normal response in the atmosphere in the winter months. The way things set up in the wintertime over the northern part of the Earth is where the jet stream will develop, and it creates a low pressure, or just an area, a trough, I guess, in the upper atmosphere.
Governor Dennis Dugard told an Aberdeen audience earlier this month that he continues to believe the Aberdeen NBP plant will be put into full production by its new owners. White Oak Financial had loaned over $30 million to the original Korean owners and is in the process of purchasing the Aberdeen beef processing plant. It has a major stake in getting the maximum it can for the facility. Dugard says he believes White Oak will only achieve that by managing a restart of the processing at the NBP plant. Currently, original president and CEO David Palmer and 4 other former staffers of the Korean investors are maintaining watch over the $100 million plus investment. White Oak and others must file paperwork before the federal bankruptcy judge in Sioux Falls to get ownership control to the investment firm. Work continues on getting all the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
In January, a semi-truck and trailer was struck by a Burlington Northern Santa Fe train just east of Aberdeen. Luckily, there were no injuries to the driver of the semi or train crew. South Dakota Highway Patrol troopers ticketed the truck driver for failing to stop with the lights flashing at the crossing on County Road 14, about a mile north of U.S. Highway 12. Repair experts say the loss of the accident will be well over $20,000.
Even though Governor Dugard had decided the state did not need to take federal money through Medicaid expansion, the legislature has opened talks with members from both parties. The Medicaid program provides medical care for poor people, but the state wants to get the ability to design its own expansion, something that is not offered to states under federal law. The program now covers 116,000 children, adults, and disabled in South Dakota. With the expanded eligibility now permitted by the federal government, another 48,000 could join the program if the state asks for help, something Republican Party leaders have opposed. Democratic legislative leaders have favored the expansion from when it was offered, which would bring $300 million in federal dollars to the state.
Aberdeen has a facility that does its best to keep victims of domestic violence safe. On our in-depth story tonight, we talk with those who have been deeply affected by the facility's efforts. Steve has the details on this month's in-depth report.
Yes, Aberdeen does have domestic violence, and some need help from Safe Harbor. It's an agency that helps victims. Here is one who tells her story with her identity protected.
I was in an abusive relationship for a couple years, and there was one specific incident where my ex-husband tried to kill me. And what had happened was he had me in a chokehold and choked me out to the point that I blacked out. When I came to, he was punching me in the back of my head. After that was over, I called 911, and an ambulance came, and the cops also came. Took our stories, and I was actually the one who was arrested because my ex-husband, being the charmer and manipulator that he is, managed to convince the police that I was the one who started it. And I was emotionally just crying and just out of my mind. Well, the next morning, my bruises started showing up, the strangulation signs, the bloodshot eyes, etc., as well as bruising on the back of my head and my ears. So my mom actually took me to Safe Harbor, and one of the staff knew that what had happened was wrong. So she called the police department, and they had a police officer come over, took pictures of the bruises that were now showing up, And they took that to the state's attorney, and they did drop the charges against me, issued a warrant for him, and he ended up getting arrested.
Stories like these are not all that uncommon in our community. The facility itself is over 100 years old. The board of directors has received a major donation to upgrade. A campaign to raise another $2 million is underway. Executive Director is Gina Karst.
Well, the initial donation that this donor had asked us to purchase the land so that we would get moving, and so we have purchased the land. We're just west of the new Central High School in that happy development, and then from there, we just need to get out in the campaigning, and hopefully it's a huge success. We only need 2.2 million. I know that make that sound so easy, but I hope that it goes smoothly.
Well, tell us, what's the idea behind this, and what's involved in the facility when it's finished?
Currently we sit in two older houses. They're both over 100 years old, and as you can imagine, of older homes, we are constantly having to do upkeep and repairs, and it's expensive. And when you're a nonprofit and constantly trying to find them funds to fix those repairs is very difficult, because nothing is just a simple, especially when you're in older buildings. It's just never a simple fix.
Two of those on the board of directors are Mike and Dawn Williams. They are big believers in the mission and the task ahead to raise the funds.
And we've sat at a few dinners where we've had some people do their testimonials, and I know the one dinner I sat at, the speaker sat next to me, and I think I was more emotional when she came to sit down than she was after she got done. She did an amazing job. Her testimonial that she told us, her experience that she had and what Safe Harbor did for her, the fresh beginning that she was able to get after she went to Safe Harbor, and they helped her with, getting some confidence and understanding what it's like to go out into the environment and not be afraid of your lifestyle and what you're doing, and being able and having confidence in yourself. And this person was just amazing.
Don and I, before we made the commitment, we came over, met with Gina Karst, and we asked if we could take a tour of the facility to just get a good feel for it. And when you tour the facility, its age shows, and it would be very good to see a safe, efficient, and comfortable location for not only the staff or the client, but as well as the staff also.
If you'd like to help, their phone number is 226-1212. A fireman and a drummer. You'll meet them next on our People You Should Know segment. Stay tuned.
If you haven't heard, Aberdeen recently held a ribbon cutting for the finest hotel in the Hub City. Town Place Suites by Marriott is located adjacent to the Lakewood Mall. These gorgeous suites are extended stay facilities, but offer lodging from a night or two to special rates for weekly or monthly stays. Each and every unit comes with kitchen facilities, in addition to offering everything to please business travelers, families, or anyone who wants luxury accommodations at reasonable rates. Town Place Suites by Marriott, a block north of 6th Avenue, adjacent to the Lakewood Mall.
You know where you're going, right?
I programmed all 16 destinations into this.
Are you okay, Billy?
All right, let's go look for a car.
There's no need for a long road trip to find the right car or van. At Har Motors, you can shop best-selling brands Toyota, Honda, and Nissan all under one roof. Har's is the only destination you need before heading out to see the world.
Welcome to Har Motors.
We made it.
Your home is warm, comfortable, and welcoming. When your friends linger more leisurely, your family gathers more joyously, and your spare time is spent in pure relaxation. Since 1945, Malchow's quality and style, combined with our decades of experience, have helped you fill your house with dynamic new furnishings. We make it easy with design ideas. Our creative staff will come to your home with a free, no-hassle consultation that's sure to meet your needs. Malchow's, the look you love to come home to.
On tonight's People You Should Know segment, meet a man who has dedicated his life to keeping you and the community safe. Kim has the details.
Meet J.R. Huebner, Battalion Chief of Aberdeen Fire and Rescue. He is originally from the Pierre area and got interested in firefighting at a young age. His father was a volunteer firefighter, and Huebner knew that's what he wanted to do when he grew up. After going to school in Montana, he started as a firefighter paramedic for the city of Aberdeen in 2001. He's gone through the ranks, acting as a lieutenant and now a battalion chief. He acts as the incident commander during major calls, working to manage the staff and assign other resources as needed. He makes sure everyone knows where they need to be and have the tools they need to do their jobs properly. His number one priority is the safety of his crew and the civilians involved in any call. He told us his favorite part of the job.
I would say definitely going on the calls. It's something new every day. You don't know when you come to work what you're going to be going on, anywhere from hazmat to it could be a technical rescue, to a structure fire. So it's just being able to be prepared and not knowing, but then being able to, when you get there, handle something or take control of something that's out of control.
He told us about a new app being started called Pulse Point. Aberdeen will soon have it up and running. The app lets people who have signed up as CPR trained be alerted if there's someone nearby needing assistance. It will also let them know if there's a portable defibrillator. The app also lets people know when and where there's an emergency nearby, and they can even listen to the fire calls live. Huebner says it will give the fire department more transparency with the public. Huebner also is a drummer with the Firefighters Pipe and Drum Band. He said it honors the rich history and tradition of the firefighters. They have played at parades and other events all over South Dakota, Minnesota, and North Dakota. They also honor fallen firefighters at funerals. Outside of work, Huebner enjoys spending time outside, hunting, fishing, and playing sports like baseball and softball. He also teaches firefighter certification classes and is working on his master's degree in strategic leadership. J.R. Huebner, one of the people you should know.
Next on the Progress Report, we visit with Jean Brunell, Central's athletic director, about the controversy over moving state tournaments out of Aberdeen. Stay tuned.
Why does Pearson Ford continue to offer this area's best prices? There's one big reason. Fleet pricing on new pickups means you can save big dollars. Ford will allow you to get volume pricing of an extra 2 to 10% off when you purchase brand new F-150 and 250 trucks. And Ford technology continues to provide vehicles that are 20% more fuel efficient than they were back in 2005. Plus, get great assistance for your driving, listening, and navigating using the My Ford Touch system. See us today at Pearson Ford, located in the Auto Plaza in Aberdeen.
Thank you for calling Super 8 Reservation. It's tough finding a career. So many spend time jumping from one unfulfilling job to the next. But you have the chance to change that because Wyndham Hotel Group, the world's largest hotel company, is hiring right here in Aberdeen. Our inbound call center offers a professional, fun work environment with wages starting at $9 an hour and competitive medical, dental, and vision benefits. Full and part-time positions are now available, so take charge of your career by calling 605-229-8080 or visiting wyndhamjobs.com.
One place for all your insurance needs? Of course. See State Farm Agent Linda Shop. Call or stop by today.
Our interview of the month today is with Jean Brunell, Athletic Director at Aberdeen Central High School. Welcome, Jean.
Thank you.
Jean, we know there's some controversy right now as to whether Aberdeen is in danger of losing state high school tournaments. What are the chances that we could, in fact, lose a tournament?
That's a possibility. However, the South Dakota High School Activities Association Board of Directors decides where all the tournaments will be. Recommendations come from the board staff, but the decision to whether Aberdeen will continue on with the events that's having now will be left with the 8-member board.
Jean, it seems that one of the major questions here is the availability of hotel, motel rooms around the state, including Aberdeen. Tell us where we sit.
Well, we're not in bad shape motel-wise. It would be nice if we had 100 plus more rooms. You could always use that. But we've been successful in the last 20 plus years in providing housing for basketball and for wrestling, for volleyball, for gymnastics and other events. We are, like every other community, with the exception of Sioux Falls and Rapid City, somewhat strapped by the number of motels that we would have available. The two largest cities in our state, obviously, one because of tourism and the other because of its size, have a bit of an advantage over everybody on that issue.
What sort of action could Aberdeen take to ensure that we could continue to host tournaments?
Well, we continue in our community to build new motels. We continue in our community to build more eating establishments. So those things really need to progress. We have to remember that Aberdeen has been a wonderful host. Our community welcomes people throughout the state. Our university is a wonderful host, and our 2 high schools do a great job of taking care of the teams and the people when they are here. This is a great place for people to come to, for tournaments and for other events.
How's the 2013-14 season going for Aberdeen Central?
Well, we're doing fine. Our gymnastics and our wrestling teams are kind of leading us this year, with our basketball teams coming up a little bit behind. But we've been very successful. Our gymnasts are setting new records all the time and qualifying their athletes for state events, and our wrestlers, we have the best wrestling team that we probably had in our history, and they're one of the teams that could win the State A wrestling tournament that will be coming in the end of February, on the 28th of February and the 1st of March in Rapid City, by the way.
Okay. Gene Brunell, Athletic Director at Aberdeen Central High School. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Coming up next on our Chamber segment, we talk about the Community Champions Awards event. Stay tuned.
We all know what a great place Aberdeen is to live, but we need your help in spreading the word. Let relatives and friends know of the career opportunities that are available now. Job prospects are expanding greatly in our community. Major employers are now hiring with hundreds of openings. You can remind them that we also have a great city park system, superb arts and entertainment, and our educational opportunities are outstanding. The Aberdeen Development Corporation invites you to come write your story in Aberdeen.
The Aberdeen Progress Report is sponsored by Celebration Entertainment, the industry leader since 1998.
Thank you for calling Super 8 Reservation.
It's tough finding a career. So many spend time jumping from one unfulfilling job to the next. But you have a chance to change that because Wyndham Hotel Group, the world's largest hotel company, is hiring right here in Aberdeen. Our inbound call center offers a professional, fun work environment with wages starting at $9 an hour and competitive medical, dental, and vision benefits. Full and part-time positions are now available, so take charge of your career by calling 605-229-8080 or visiting wyndhamjobs.com.
On our Chamber section tonight, we welcome the Chamber President, Gail Oakes, and the Chamber Board Chair, Neil Whitgriff, for 2014. Thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate it. Neil, can you tell us what the program of work is and how it was developed?
Sure. Of course, the objective of the Chamber of Commerce is to promote commerce in the Aberdeen area. So the program of work is how we establish our priorities after working and communicating with our membership and then with the board, and so we have everything set up for the fiscal year following.
Gail, can you tell us, is there anything different in this year's program of work, and are there any new areas the Chamber is going to be focusing on?
There are. Certainly the program of work, there's some things in there every year that we focus on, but some new things this year that we are hoping to accomplish. We're going to look at our membership within the Chamber, look at our dues structure, look at some of the benefits and events that we host and put on. And we're also going to work on a community appeals process. That's something where as a community we come together and look at all the capital campaigns and see which ones can be successful. And we just think that'll help our community grow.
Neil, are there some other areas, focus of work that you're going to be working at?
Sure. I think really we want to focus in on the education and the engage our membership and the committee members. One of our focuses this year is really to engage the committee members to be involved in our program work. And then also this year we were talking the other day that we're going to develop a disaster plan for the Chamber, something we haven't had before. And we were going to take that a step further, and one of the seminars that we're going to put on is helping smaller businesses develop a disaster plan.
Gail, if the public wanted to see the plan of work for 2014, where would they go to find that information?
Sure. The program of work is printed in the recent Progress magazine that just came out. It can also be found on our website, which is aberdeen-chamber.com.
Okay. Gail Oakes, Neil Whitgriff of the Aberdeen Chamber of Commerce, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
The annual Community Champions Luncheon will be held on Tuesday, February 11th from 11 to 1 p.m. at the Ramada Convention Center. Several awards will be given to top leaders in the community. Tickets are $30 each or $220 for a table of 8. They can be purchased by calling the Chamber at 225-2860 or emailing info@aberdeen-chamber.com. The Chamber of Commerce's Government Affairs Committee will be hosting 3 Cracker Barrel sessions on Saturday, February 8th, Saturday, February 22nd, and Saturday, March 1st. The Cracker Barrels are from 10 a.m. to noon in the Centennial Rooms of the Student Center at Northern States University campus. Business After Hours, a monthly mixer for business and professionals and the community, will be held on Thursday, February 13th at the Barnett Center at NSU. It will begin at 5:15 p.m. Food and drinks will be available. Please RSVP to the Chamber. You do not need to be a Chamber member to attend.
I had lost over 5 units of blood. Normal body holds 7 units. Couldn't do much. I couldn't even hold my head up. I remember, I'll never forget getting off care flight and going into ER where Dr. Warren stood. She held my hand and she said, "It's gonna be okay." I remember waking up and with that nurse standing over me, and she said, "Here's your daughter." The Avira staff are absolute all angels in my eyes. The care we received was beyond words.
When we enter Kessler's, we come with certain expectations. We expect to be at the best store in Aberdeen, and we expect it because that's what they've always been. The store you enter today at Kessler's is born of tradition. Whether we're talking about the freshest produce with a huge selection to pick from, or meats that are second to none anywhere in the nation, and prices that are always reasonable for the best quality you'll find in Aberdeen. Kessler's, there for you for over 70 years.
See what we can do.
Because Healthcare Plus is a member-owned credit union, dividends are paid monthly back to the members, which is an added benefit, both in savings and in checking.
One thing you'll find about the credit union here is that the people, they want to serve you and they want to do a good job.
In fact, we've recommended Healthcare Plus to a number of people we know that have joined and now have accounts with them.
See what we can do at Healthcare Plus Federal Credit Union in Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Thank you for calling Super 8 Reservation.
It's tough finding a career. So many spend time jumping from one unfulfilling job to the next. But you have the chance to change that because Wyndham Hotel Group, the world's largest hotel company, is hiring right here in Aberdeen. Our inbound call center offers a professional, fun work environment with wages starting at $9 an hour and competitive medical, dental, and vision benefits. Full and part-time positions are now available, so take charge of your career by calling 605-229-8080 or visiting wyndhamjobs.com.
Remember, the progress report is available during the entire month following its airing by going to the Midco Cable TV service on its video-on-demand capability. You can also see a recording of it on the web at any of these websites: ksfy.com, kaleidoscopemedia.net, and aberdeen-chamber.com. Keep in mind also, every other month the Chamber publishes our companion, the Aberdeen Progress magazine. All Chamber members should receive a free copy of the magazine that is filled with news and details about the Chamber and community. Thanks for joining us. Kim and I will see you next month on March 1st following KSFY's Late News. Good night, everyone.
This has been the Aberdeen Progress Report. News, issues, and ideas concerning the Aberdeen area. The Aberdeen Progress Report is produced by Kaleidoscope Media, the Aberdeen Area Chamber of Commerce, and KSFY Television.